Hey everybody. I wanted to come on and create sort of a APD Medicaid Waiver Part 2 video. I had made one before for the community, and since then we've had a good change where now you no longer have to go onto the website, find the application, download it, print it, fill it out with a pen, and mail it in. So now you can actually do it online. So I thought, let me come on here and educate you guys a little bit about this because it's really important. So yes, I'm sure that you have heard that there is a 25,000-ish long wait list, but that should not be a reason for you not to apply. There is something called crisis, and if you are a family that's in crisis, and I know, I hear you, what you're saying, everybody's in crisis, I get that. What they tend to view as a crisis is someone who is a danger to themselves or to others, and it has created a significant crisis. And that may be you, but you have to basically have the documentation so that they agree with you. But I have seen many people actually pulled off of the wait list and receive crisis services because of the situation that they're presently in. Now, what you don't want is you don't want to be in a crisis and not even be on the wait list, because then the whole thing has to start from zero. So once you have a diagnosis, I encourage you to fill out the application. Not everyone gets on. APD, so the Agency for Persons with Disabilities, they are specifically focused on people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. So we have Down syndrome, autism, Prader-Willi, spina bifida, and cerebral palsy. So those are the top overarching 5. There are others for sure, but just to give you a frame of reference, that's really where APD tends to put their focus. But specific to autism, it says severe on there. So I think everybody should apply, regardless of what somebody thinks is severe and what somebody doesn't. So I wanted to be able to describe to you guys, what do you do? How do you fill it out? So what I did is I knew that it had moved to an online format. So I put in a Google search, Medicaid Waiver Services, Florida, and it did not come up. I mean, the APD website came up, but it was on one of the pages. And one of the pages was one of the old pages that talks about click here to download it, to print it, to fill it out. And I was like, okay, that's not what I'm looking for. So what you're going to do, and I'm going to show you in a minute, I'm going to show you my screen in a second, and so you'll be able to see it. But you literally have to go to the home page, the very opening page of APD, in order to be able to get to the little thing that I'm going to show you. Now, I want to also add that I will not be able to guide you through the whole thing here because my son already received services, so I can't get into some of the things that you'll be able to get into. But I'm going to kind of go over with you, which is really the biggest thing, is really finding where it is and how to get started. You need to have your documentation, and we're going to look at that in a minute. But please don't wait. It doesn't do you a benefit. It doesn't do the overall community across the state a benefit. It doesn't do the advocates that are working really hard on this a benefit. And again, like I said, you never know when you're going to be in that moment of crisis, and you want to at least be on the wait list. Okay? All right, so let's take a look. This is the page that you're going to go to, and if you see up here in the top left, it says apd.myflorida.com. That is the website that you're going to go to. Okay? So don't do like me and just Google it, because like I said, what came up on my computer was not the page I needed. So you want to go to this page, and then if you look over here, hopefully you can see my little cursor. Did you know you can now apply online? So you can click on that, and it gives you some information there. And then there's also some more information here about Unique Abilities Partner Program and Hope Florida. So in here, look, you can see right here, get started here, online application. So you go here, So you have to see, are you ready? Okay. So this, you got to look here, and it says the below are pre-screening items that the APD uses to determine eligibility. So first, you have to make sure that you are eligible. So the applicant is 3 years of age or older, lives in Florida. So if you're from out of state, you can't do this until you are a Florida resident. If you're moving here. Does the applicant have a diagnosis of a developmental disability? And did this condition manifest before the age of 18? So if that's a yes, okay, you have the right to apply to help and to have your eligibility decided without us looking at your race. Okay. Basically, that's just make sure that it is appropriate, right? And that you're receiving the appropriate types of accommodations and consideration. Okay, you have the responsibility to, and you'll see some information there. So you'll say, I accept. All right, ready to apply? Here's how it works. So it tells you right here, you're gonna fill in and submit your application. You gotta, make sure that you have all the appropriate information. Then you're gonna have to upload documents. So before you even start, you have to know that you're going to need some documentation. That's another thing. You don't even want to get this started unless you're sure that you have everything that you need and it's ready to go. So you're going to need one or more of the following, right? So you have to basically prove who you are, right? Meaning the child, right? I would have both your own information as well as your child's if you are filling this out for your child. Because here it talks about parents also. So you want to make sure that you guys who are parents, you have this information. All right, so diagnosis verification. Now here you can see below, it tells you some of the things that you may need. This is an area where a lot of parents get tripped up because APD will say that what you all submit does not do the job at describing the level of need. So you want to make sure that you have good enough information to show the significance of the impact of the disability. Not just, I wouldn't have just the diagnostic, right? So not just like a letter from your neurologist that gives a diagnosis. That's not going to get you very far. And genetic testing alone is not likely to get you very far either. So you want to have something that shows what's the impact, okay? So then you're going to continue. Anything that says that it's required, obviously is going to be required. And you must use the save and continue and back buttons to navigate through the application, or else it won't go anywhere. So here, this is where you're going to go over here and you're going to create a new account. So obviously I can't do that for you because I already have one, so I won't be able to do that. But I'm going to take you to another page so that you can see something. So on this page, which you can see the link up here at the top, this tells you exactly who are these individuals that are eligible. And when we talk about autism, you'll see it says severe forms of autism. Okay, so just be aware that is there. In the intellectual disabilities, a full scale of 70 or lower. Now in the school system, in the state of Florida, an intellectual disability is 67 or lower. So just note that that's different. There is a difference there between APD and the Department of Education. Further down on this page, you will see the location of the different offices. So they're all across the state, and then there's a list here of the different ones that you can call for more information and guidance. There are people there on site who can help you as needed. If you don't want to do it online, you can come here and do the old application download, and you'll see that it's here. Okay, so I would say just do the PDF, and then you'll be able to fill that out there. But again, you will be downloading it, filling it out, printing it, signing it, and mailing it in. This is what the hard copy form looks like. Okay, just so that you see what type of information. So it might be good to take a look at this before you start the online, because then you'll be able to actually see what are they going to be asking. If you are a military family, you'll see that there's a section here on military, and then you can go to this link. Oh, hang on. and you will see additional information here for supports for families that are military families. So on this page, on this application page here, the old application page, if you click here, so it's from the top, it's not too far, right? So if you click here where it says click here for more information on eligibility and applying, if you go to this page, so this is more of a description of the eligible diagnosis codes that you can find, okay? So there they are, but here are the services. I find that a lot of people think that, well, I think a lot of people get confused over Medicaid and Medicaid waiver, and they are very different. They are not the same thing. So you need to know that Medicaid is like health insurance, and it provides medical, some therapies, things that you would expect a healthcare or medical insurance company to provide. The waiver is different. It provides different types of services. So as you can see, it says right here, APD offers a wide range of social, medical, residential, and behavioral services. Following is a list of services offered. Services provided are based on need and coverage area, so not all individuals receive all services. But if you know an adult who needs dental care, behavior analysis for adults or children, a behavior assistant, like a registered behavior assistant, consumable medical supplies, personal support. So I have friends with a few adults who need a personal support person with them so that they can access their communities, maybe have a job, live the life that they choose. Supported living coach. And as you can see, there are all kinds of services here. So you just want to make sure that you're not fighting for something that isn't even covered under the waiver system. So you have to understand what they do. So I think that's about it. So I encourage you to take a look at the website, either do it online, or if you are a person who's more paper pencil, then you just go on there, you download it, you print it, you fill it out, and you send it in. Make sure you have the proper documentation. Make sure that the documentation represents a significant need, because if it makes it sound like you or your child doesn't really need very much, you're going to get denied right off the bat. Okay, so make sure that you're very thoughtful in that process and that you include all the materials that they're requesting, because if you don't include what they request, they will kick it back to you, and you will spend 6 months, a year just going back and forth with that stuff. So you want to make sure that you have everything together when you sit down and you fill out the application. Okay? All right, well, I hope that this was helpful. And, feel free to contact the Autism Society. There's also Disability Rights Florida. That is an amazing organization that also does a tremendous amount of work in this area. There's the ARC of Florida, another great support system. There's the Family Care Councils. There's the Florida Developmental Disabilities Council. There's lots of organizations out there who really work very well together to make great things happen when it comes to advocacy at the legislative level in the state. So stay tapped in and gain the information that you need to live the life that you choose. Thanks.